Bank of America, and they're causing quite a stir, even blacklisted by Google. Take a look at the website. It's designed to look almost identical to the real thing. Same colors, same graphics. You're greeted by a statement from Bank of America's CEO, Brian Moynihan. Part of it says, quote, "Today, it's time to acknowledge that our bank isn't working anymore, not just for the market, but for the people, our real customers." So here are the two websites side by side, the real and the fake. Can you tell the difference? The fake one's pretty convincing, right? Of course, it's all fake, but it's not a scam. They're not trying to take any of your information or your money. Those behind it say it's a spoof meant to bring awareness to Bank of America's controversial policies. They've even posted some silly testimonials showing how ridiculous some of Bank of America's policies are. Take a look at these. Unlike in the past, my Bank of America is going to pay taxes, like me. The next one there, I'm a proctologist. At least I tell you before I do, unlike Bank of America. And here's another. If money was the same as speech, I'd have a mouth, but see, I don't. Well, joining us now is the man posing to be CEO Brian Moynihan. His real name is Andy Bickelbaum and is here to tell us more about your Bank of America. Hi there, Andy. So, all right, what is this all about?
So yourbofa.com is a project that a bunch of us launched in order to get the word out there about Bank of America and, more importantly, about not only Bank of America's failings and quasi-criminal activity, if you will, but more importantly, to get us all thinking about what will we do with a bank like Bank of America when we have to bail it out.
Okay, talk a little bit more about the issues that you want to bring to people's attention.
Well, the main issue that we want to bring to people's attention is banks fail. They do. And in 2008, a number of banks failed, and the taxpayers were asked to bail them out. And the taxpayers did through the government. Now those banks are acting the same as they did before. Now, if Bank of America fails, which it looks like it very well could in the next couple of years, what will we do with it? We'll bail it out, but then what? We'll be able to do anything we want. And I think it's pretty obvious that most people have better ideas about what banking should do than the people who actually run the banks. That's what this site is all about.
All right. And so, Andy, what is your ultimate goal? Do you want to bring Bank of America down?
Bank of America is bringing itself down. It doesn't really need our help. It's, if you look at its share price, its quarterly earnings out just today, the humongous raft of lawsuits and claims against it and so on and so forth, it's pretty obvious they're doing their best to ruin themselves. What we want to do is, whether or not Bank of America itself fails, we kind of don't care. It's whatever the next bank is that fails. We don't want a repeat of 2008, where the banks fail, we bail them out, and then they go on doing the same crazy things that got them to fail in the first place. There are many, many smart things that banks could do. And there are many, many stupid things that they do that they could stop doing.
Talk a little bit more about that. What do banks need to stop doing? And if not Bank of America, where should customers go?
Well, where should customers go is an easy one to answer. There's a lot of local credit unions, small credit unions that are answerable to local communities. If the community doesn't like what the credit union is doing, they can actually stop them from doing that. If the credit union wants them to do something else, they can make them do that. There are lots of credit unions all over the country that are very responsive to their local communities. And they're doing this despite laws that are not super favorable to credit unions. One of the things that there are credit unions that actually will buy mortgages off of large banks like Bank of America and resell them to people who are being evicted, and thus save people from being evicted from their homes due to predatory lending practices. And probably the best thing that could happen to a big bank like Bank of America would be that it would be split into smaller credit unions. Failing that, it could also just stop predatory lending. It could try to make reparations for the predatory lending disaster that it's created, the foreclosure disaster. If you put your money in a checking account, shouldn't you have a say over what that money does? Right now, you put your money in a checking account and the bank invests it wherever it wants, even if it's something that you really dislike. I would like personally to have a say in what my money is doing if it's in a checking account somewhere, but I don't. And with a credit union, with a small credit union, you often do. You know, if you don't want your credit union investing in predatory loans or in armaments or what have you, you can vote as a community and pressure your credit union to not do that anymore.
So now this website is aiming to bring some of these issues to the forefront, and it's obviously it's a spoof, and it's kind of a funny way to bring these issues to the public's attention. But the site was blacklisted, as I understand why.
Well, the main thing the site is trying to do is get people talking about banking and get people understanding that they can run banks better than the bankers can. And so all this fakery and stuff is basically just a trick to get the site into the news and get people using it to trade ideas about how banking should be. When we launched it yesterday, Bank of America, it seems, complained to Google that it was a phishing site, PHI, phishing, meaning that it was trying to get credit card information from customers and so on and so forth. It's really obvious it's not about that. There's nothing, it's nothing like a phishing expedition. But Google reacted to Bank of America's complaint and listed it as a phishing site, meaning that anybody who went to the site would get this big warning on their screen, stop, this is a dangerous site, don't go here. And Google was even blocking Gmail users from sending email about the site to each other.
That's right. I know that we even had some trouble downloading it today to get the graphics for this part of the show. Are they planning on taking it down so that people can access it easily now?
Yeah, it's down. Hundreds of people complained about that. We actually sent out an email to our list saying, please tell Google that this is not a phishing site, and people did, and Google corrected it. So now you can actually access the site without any trouble.
So you obviously got Bank of America's attention, you got Google's attention. What kind of feedback are you getting from this site?
Well, a lot of great stuff is going up. If you visit it, yourbofa.com, you'll see that there's a bunch of ideas, a bunch of really funny ads. The ads are supposed to be for this future bank, that whatever the bank will look like in the future. You're advertising your bank. This is what my bank will look like. And you know, suppose the pretense of the site is that Bank of America is asking for your help to advertise what they should be. And a lot of those ads are really, really funny. And a lot of the ideas are fantastic too. There's, you know, you scroll through a few of the ideas and you realize, oh yeah, these are some really common sense, basic no-brainers. We can run banks. We just have to have the guts to do it.
Now, Andy, are you making any money off of this? Is Wells Fargo or anybody else trying to push you to do this? Or is there any financial motivation behind this on your part?
I know I should make a joke here about how much each of the other banks are giving us, but no. There is no financial motivation in doing this.
All right, there's a straight up answer there. And tell me a little bit about your organization. I was doing some reading, and some people were wondering who is behind this spoof website. There was some speculation Occupy Wall Street was behind it. I saw that the Yes Men was a possible culprit. Tell me a little bit about the Yes Men. I know that you aim to kind of bring these political messages out there. Tell me a little bit more about this organization.
Well, we've actually worked quite a bit, quite closely on this site with others, especially with people from Occupy Wall Street, There's an alternative banking working group that are all about thinking of ways that we can do banking differently, that we can run banks differently. And we worked with them on this site, as well as with some folks with Occupy who have made a site, breakupbofa.com, very good site. And we've also worked with the Rainforest Action Network and New Bottom Line on the site as well. So it's a big coalition, and we're just the ones who have facilitated it and helped to make it all happen, the mechanics of it. But it's really a big group of people that made this site happen. And what we've been doing fakery of different sorts for about 13 years now, basically giving journalists excuses to cover topics that they think are important. And maybe they don't have enough of a hook to relate these important issues until we make a funny joke that gives them that excuse.
Well, this certainly is a good way to get your word out. So you've taken on Bank of America. Who are you taking on next?
Well, I can't really tell you or them that, but you'll see. You'll see very shortly in about a month.
All right, 1 month. That's how long we'll have to wait to see who the next target is of the Yes Men. Andy, thank you for coming on the show. That was Andy Bickelbaum, activist for the Yes Men.